I'm going to present an individual to you who is another one on this great lineup that virtually needs no introduction, but she has a very impressive CV. Lila Rose founded Live Action in 2008 at the age of 15 with a simple goal: show people what abortion was really about. With the help of a few friends, she was able to capture undercover video evidence of employees at a Planned Parenthood clinic and other abortion facilities, and they told her to lie about her age. Live Action has since expanded their work to include creation of compelling educational media, human interest storytelling, national conversations on the rights of the preborn, and continued investigation. As a result of Lila's tireless leadership, the pro-life movement has over 143 million video views and over 2 million people reached daily through Live Action's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest accounts. Those are pretty impressive numbers. Their social media efforts have become so effective that, what do you know, Twitter banned them. Again, she's doing a great job. Lila and her organization are an inspiring example of how creativity, persistence, and the truth are incredible weapons on this battlefield. Lila, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me. It's awesome to be here with all of you today. Some great activists I know in the group here, and some wonderful speakers you've heard from this morning who are doing great work for the most vulnerable among us, for our preborn brothers and sisters. It's also very sobering to be here today because we are leading up, as you know, to the anniversary of the Supreme Court decision that wrongly claimed that children in the womb do not have the right to life, and that somehow propped up abortion, this act of violence, as somehow good for women and some part of women's health. And so we're here to mourn the 45th anniversary of Roe v. Wade and to mourn the 60 million children lives who have lost their lives, and the women and the fathers, the mothers and the fathers who have been wounded by this, and the survivors. As a millennial and representing many in the millennial movement and Generation Z, we did not know a world without abortion. We grew up in a world with abortion, and we've never known a world besides that. And that means that many of us have missing siblings, missing nieces, missing nephews, missing cousins, missing classmates. People are missing all over our country. And we're here, of course, to talk about social media and the importance of media to transform hearts and minds, but we have to remember our context first. The context that we are living in a world, in a country right now, that is deeply wounded. Wounded because of abortion, and wounded because of a larger cultural onslaught of problems that we face. Mental health challenges, challenges of confusion about sexuality, confusion about identity, issues of broken families and broken relationships. We are facing many challenges, and that is the environment in which we are doing our outreach. That's the environment in which we're trying to reach people, especially people that don't agree, because this movement is about drawing people in with love and with the truth, drawing people in who are not already part of our club, but expanding the club, expanding the group. And as we do that, I want to first put before you that we need to make sure we know who we're trying to reach, that we're trying to reach people that are from many different backgrounds, many different labels, political labels and otherwise, many different life experiences, and a lot of wounds that our country is facing. I'm really delighted that I get to be a part of Live Action and the amazing team. Joanna here is our head of strategic partnership. She's here with me today, and we're going to be marching, of course, with all of you in just a little bit. But I'm delighted because we get to see every day, and we get to create every day, the kind of content, the kind of messages, the videos, the stories that are transformative. Because the idea, again, is to bring people in. It's to strengthen the current activists and get them more riled up and more passionate. But it's just as importantly to reach people who maybe aren't thinking about this issue every day, who are maybe out there in their schools or in their churches or not in church at all whatsoever, in another movement, another social justice movement, who are not necessarily identified with the pro-life cause. The good news is that amongst millennials and those in Generation Z, the people that are over a third of the voting bloc in this country, people that are the biggest demographic to be facing abortion decisions, there's a great, I believe, tenderness and openness to the pro-life cause in the hearts of young people. That's because we care about social justice, we care about the weak, and we grew up again in that kind of wounded climate where we understand what suffering is. We don't want other people to experience suffering, and we have a deep sense of empathy. So that's the first thing that Live Action does in all of our messaging and all of our work, is we try to tell the stories of what's actually happening to both the child and to the woman, about what actually happens during an abortion. What is an abortion? It's been this sterilized, medicalized term, sanitized by those that are abortion advocates, where they try to paint it as something positive, paint it as something good for women. But what actually happens during an abortion? And telling that story along with the story of what are women actually experiencing. When women walk into an abortion facility, what are they actually experiencing? Are they walking in there because they woke up and they said, great, I get to have an abortion today? No. Women don't walk into abortion facilities because they feel powerful. They're feeling powerless. They're feeling like they might even be pressured into that decision. It's their last resort. They have education, they have work, they have other things that are crowding out their time, their resources, and they feel like they have to do this. So it's actually the ultimate position of disempowerment for a woman to offer her body to an abortionist and the body of a child, turning herself, against her own flesh and blood. So we need to tell those stories, the story of the child, the story of the woman, and then those larger stories about what's happening in our country, in families, how it's hurting men, how it's hurting our law system, our legal system is corrupt because of abortion. And those stories, when we create them for an online audience, so we're talking a lot of visual media. That's the second point, is beyond telling the stories, is packaging the stories. We want to make sure we understand the platforms out there, all of the major social media platforms that are out there, and the different ways that they curate content, or the algorithms that are out there that maybe push some content aside and allow other content to get more eyes, how to use advertising on the different forums, whether it's Instagram or Twitter, although we don't advertise on Twitter, as you know, because we got blocked recently. That's another story for another time. But how we use these different platforms, Facebook, Pinterest, whatever it might be, of course, online, to reach people. And packaging is really important, and what I want to share with you here in a moment is we want to make sure when we're presenting, for example, the story of what abortion is, that we're doing it in a way that's actually going to reach people and get behind their defenses. So for example, Live Action, throughout our education resources, sometimes uses pictures of abortion victims, because that's an actual representation of what happens to the child during an abortion. But we found the resistance psychologically and online when people are given that content without expecting it. So we created content using medical animations of what happens during each abortion procedure, the 4 most common abortion procedures in this country. And we had a former abortionist briefly tell his story and then narrate each of these 4 most prevalent abortion procedures. And we used medical animations to reveal what is happening during the abortion procedure to the child, and then the development of the embryo or the preborn child, and then of course what happens to the woman afterwards. What are the negative impacts that she might experience physically, emotionally, and otherwise. These videos, when we first started to release them, quickly gained traction, and now are at over 86 million views online through Facebook and YouTube. So we think, from what we can understand, they're the most viral pro-life videos of their kind to actually reach people. And the millions of responses we get back and the thousands upon thousands of comments are people saying, I didn't know, and thank you for showing me, and now, before I was pro-choice, but now I have to be pro-life. And I want to show a brief video with you of folks that we've interviewed who are talking about that video of what happens during an abortion procedure. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is you're going to notice that the folks that we're interviewing, and these are random people across the West Coast. I'm from California. If you want to find out where to find the hardest group to message abortion to correctly and the pro-life cause, go live in Berkeley, California, which is where I live. I live in Berkeley. I love Berkeley. I'm from the Bay Area, but go to Seattle, go to San Francisco, go to Los Angeles, and we're in New York as well, Miami. Go to the places that are not necessarily in maybe the friend group we have. Go to other groups of people and present the message. Find ways to present it in a way that connects with people, in a way that makes them feel and make them think about this in a new way. So you're going to see these videos shown to random people across the West Coast and see their reactions to having their first encounter visually with what happens to the preborn child during an abortion and how it affects women. We can show the video now.
do you think about abortion?
I'm like hella liberal, so it's like obviously I'm pro-abortion.
There are times when you do need abortion, and it's up to that person and their rights and what they want to do.
It's our body, it's our decision, right?
If you're young, it's probably a good thing. If you want to go to college, it's hard with a baby in college.
And would you identify as pro-life, pro-choice, or neither?
Pro-choice, for sure.
Oh my God.
I had no idea this is how abortion takes place, right? Looking at that video and the way it was performed, it's an eye-opener. So, no, I don't think any kid, any baby, any infant, any fetus should go through that. No.
I mean, it seems just in general, anytime you have to kill something, it's inhumane.
So are you saying this is a human life?
I mean, it's definitely present, you know? I mean, yeah, I guess, like, even if you can't afford to, if someone can take care of these babies, I guess, like, don't abort them, you know?
So the videos that you guys showed me has changed my mind. Yes, circumstances, it still makes it hard, but because of the video, I think I kind of have, like, a better idea.
And I felt bothered by it. Kind of like had a little change of mind of being middle of the road to saying maybe I would not be for abortion, no matter what, no matter what the circumstances are.
I had no idea the process was like that. But it seems like they're more humane when they put down animals.
And one word, your thoughts on what you saw?
It's actually really emotional.
And do you think after watching this video that you would still maybe support a law that would allow for exceptions in cases of rape or incest?
And this, I just think, I think that abortion is wrong in all cases, and maybe there should not be any laws with any exceptions.
After especially seeing this video, I realized, no, like, abortion is really wrong. Yeah, really, really wrong. Wow.
Would you say that this video changed your mind at all about abortion and your
Absolutely, absolutely. I've never seen it in detail like this. I will show this to my daughter, that this is how they abort children.
It's scary to see, and I hope I will never have to do that, or I will never do that from my point now.
So you changed your mind, it sounds like, from...
Yeah, well, it's hard to say. I mean, I could never say, like, not do an abortion for 100%, but probably 99%, yeah.
Before a law is passed, I think they should include videos such as the video that he showed us. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would change their mind based on it.
There's so many other options apart from abortion, and I know it sucks and like the consequences and how it happened and why you might want an abortion, but there's always another option, and you just got to suck it up because it's a life.
So along with telling the story, of course, they learn for the first time, many of them, what happens during an abortion, and telling, investigations of abortion facilities and exposing the abuse of what abortion actually is and finding the best ways to do that. We also have to tell the good stories. We have to highlight the work of pregnancy care workers, people in healthcare doing amazing work for women. We have to highlight good things happening politically. We have to tell the stories of incredible women who are choosing life for their children despite disabilities, despite health challenges, despite fears, despite rape, despite horrible circumstances. And that's our methodology online, is we tell those stories. We tell the truth about what abortion is, what it does to the child and the woman, and then we tell the truth about how beautiful and amazing life is. And we highlight the heroes. And that inspirational message we found resonates with millions of people. And we're going to keep it up until we've reached everybody and beyond in this country. And we've transformed public opinion, because that's the end game here. We have to change the law. We have to work in politics. But until we transform the culture, until we transform people's feelings and their thoughts, we move people on this, we're not going to have the victory. But we are going to have the victory because in our hearts, people, I believe, deep down are pro-life. We need to awaken it. And that's what we're doing every day online and beyond, is reaching people, getting them to feel, getting them to think, and transforming how they feel and think about abortion and human life. Thank you so much.
Lila, we're going to have you stay right there. We'll bring up our fearless leader, Tony Perkins, president of the Family Research Council, to present this year's Digital Pioneer Award.
Well, let me tell you, this is one of the bright lights on the cultural horizon of our country is how the upcoming generations have taken on ownership of the right to life with a passion that really we've not seen. In no way to discount the work that's been done, but this is exciting for me to see what is happening among our young people all across America from every demographic. And Lila is really, I think, at the tip of the spear of that. And her story, which we heard a little bit about in the introduction, you can read more about it in my book where I profiled Lila in No Fear because of her fearless leadership on this issue. We're at a point, and some of the older pro-lifers that are in the same category as me will have an appreciation for the fact that we're very close to defunding Planned Parenthood. And that's a huge issue. 45 years after Roe v. Wade and millions of tax dollars going to this organization that is the largest abortion provider in America and exporting abortion around the world. They're on the verge, if Congress can get enough fearlessness and courage to get us there. And a lot of it goes right back to the work that Lila did with Live Action, exposing Planned Parenthood, which David and others have built upon her pioneering work. And so today, I am privileged to give the FRC Digital Pro-Life Pioneer Award to Lila Rose. And I just want to read this to you. In recognition of your groundbreaking work in digital pro-life activism, your faithfulness and visionary leadership, and your commitment to protect the very smallest and weakest in our society. Together we grieve the lost lives, celebrate the lives protected, and cheerfully fight for generations yet unborn. Lila, congratulations.
Thank you, Tony. This legitimately belongs to my team because they do most of the work, and also to anybody out there that shares the content and gets it out before people, calls Congress. I mean, really, that is the heart of our movement, is all of you doing the activism and sharing the truth. So thank you all so much, and thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Lila. Thanks for being a role model.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thanks.